Welcome to Core Reports in Tableau. Today we will be accessing Tableau to find data from core diagnostic and core progress monitoring. This data is used to inform targeted small group interventions and track student progress. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and navigate our Chandler website by going into the Employees link and then finding Staff Links. Once you are in Staff Links, you will scroll down the page and find the Tableau icon that looks like this. At that point in time, you will enter your last name, firstname at cusd80.com, so your email address, and then click Sign In. If you have any issues logging into Tableau, you can contact the research team at research@cusd80.com. The next thing we're going to do once we're logged into Tableau is on the far left side of your screen, you will notice a little compass. This is the Explore function of Tableau. We will select Explore, and then you will be able to see an item that says Profile-Teacher. This is a folder that houses many different Tableau visualizations for you. We select Profile-Teacher, and then we can choose the option Core Diagnostics. For Core Diagnostics, once we open that up, you'll have three choices for today's purpose. You're going to click on Core Scores. A tip is to go ahead and star the visualizations that you like in Tableau, and that will actually bring it forward to your landing page. The next step is we are going to use the select filters at the top of your screen. So as soon as you come to this page, it's going to look blank because we have to tell it what we want to see. At the very top, we're going to select the filter option, and then we can select the school. It will default to your grade level, your teacher name, and so forth. Once we're done selecting, to get rid of that box, you are going to click on the Close button. Your screen will now populate with data. A reminder is that this report will drive your selection of what students need and what skills they need support in. So you will use this for your targeted small group interventions. Data is shown for students at risk after they take the DIBELS assessment. Those students that are red and yellow based on their composite are then administered the core diagnostic from the team, and that is the data that populates for your class. As you can see, you can be able to view student scores based on the different parts and the different phonics skills across your screen. You can also see a blue progress monitoring circle as you start collecting data through the core progress monitoring online tool. A couple other things to notice is you can highlight certain performance level categories by selecting that little highlighter, and then you can select the benchmark, strategic, intensive category, and it will highlight those across your screen, so just a built-in feature. And let's talk a little bit more about a few other tips. Please make sure that you use the scrolling bars on the bottom and on the right hand side to be able to navigate all the data that's available for your students. Also, if you hover over a student, you're going to see a little window pop up. When that window pops up, you will be able to see student, test date, skill, the testing period, fluency, and errors. When we look at that fluency record, what that's telling us is for the assessment for the diagnostic, it was recorded if the student either read as a whole word for the majority of that test, or if they read sound by sound. They sounded out the words more frequently when they were giving that part of the test. When we look at errors, this is more common errors that were identified after the tester administered all the tests within that set for the diagnostic. And so if there were any errors noticed that were common, that's when the tester would add it into this section. Again, those errors are for the entire test, so it could be going across multiple parts. Step 6 is to navigate to the student report that includes the core progress monitoring data. In order to do that, we just select one of the student scores underneath the parts, and in doing so, we pull up an individual student report. The individual student report will be able to show over time, as you collect data, all of the data points on that particular skill. The circle stands for the diagnostic assessment, and then the diamonds represent progress monitoring. If we select one of those data points, we're able to see a little bit more information. We can see which words were sounded out or self-corrected. We can also see if there were errors, and how we read this would be, for example, the I in HIB was incorrect. So being able to read at the bottom of the screen those errors, that's how you make sense out of that scoring. So the I in HIB was incorrect, the D in lead was incorrect, the E in lead was also incorrect, the O in lot was incorrect, and the A in VAP was incorrect. So this provides you a list of errors for that progress monitoring form. You can use the top return button to go back to the matrix screen. You can also use the PDF icon to generate a printable report of the screen that you see, that individual student report based on the one skill. In moving to navigating to a skill report, we come back to the core matrix, and then from the core matrix, we're able to click on that far right button that says skill-based score report. This allows us a different view of when we're looking at a student. So this actually shows you the student name and then all the different tests the student participated in. Over time, you'll start seeing graphs based on what the student has tested in. You can also jump to the screen to just search for one individual student, or you can scroll down and see multiple students. Additional features that have been embedded within this core matrix includes a scores icon at the very top. If you select this option, it does populate all the cut scores for you. So this is just a quick document that helps you understand what scores were needed for each category. I then can click off of that score report and it disappears. Another feature is that we can sort in ascending order each individual part. So if I wanted to see, for instance, the part E, my CBC words, I wanted to see the students in order from the lowest score to the highest score in order to do my groupings, I could then select that toggle, that drop down area to be able to sort the students in that particular skill. You can only do one skill at a time, but that feature does help us when we're looking at groups and the areas that the student needs support in. And that completes our first navigation of core reports in Tableau. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the assessment team. We also have other resources available on our core YouTube playlist, and a lot of goodies that are on our screener and diagnostic webpage that you can find when you're on the assessment website. For any other questions, please feel free to reach out at any time, and thank you for doing more with core.